Information governance can be challenging because it's cross-functional. So it takes IT, InfoSec, legal, compliance. There's a lot of different parts to it. And so I think that's why it doesn't always get the attention it deserves, because it seems so overwhelming. You got to start small and get some small wins. And it's so important, especially in today's world with all the privacy regulations and that compliance. And there's so much risk with information that's sitting out there. In it as a priority is really important. And then that obviously leads to more efficient eDiscovery as well. In any eDiscovery conversation we have, people want to find more efficiencies and a better way of doing it, and overall risk and cost reduction always goes back to you end up going a little bit to the left and bringing in information governance. You can't optimize your eDiscovery workflow without better information governance.
What's the biggest problem you see in eDiscovery today?
I don't think it's taken seriously enough across the board. And with proper overall competence, I think you can proactively address some of the challenges. I'm all about technology. I love leveraging the appropriate technology, but you have to have some expertise and understand what technology to deploy where. So competence is necessary. And that goes for corporations, law firms, and alternative legal service providers like ourselves. Everybody is included in that. And if everyone is united there, then you can deploy the right technology and the right resources to get there.
Matt, is there information on the timeline of the popularity of emojis? So how frequently are they used? How often do they show up in disputes?
Actually, Eric Goldman is a law professor at the University of Santa Clara School of Law, and he is an internet law expert, emoji law expert, and so he blogs about this every year. And I believe in 2023, he had 216 cases that referenced emoji, and that's been an exponential rise over the past few years. Probably another way to answer that question is Adobe does a survey on popularity of emoji and use of emoji in the workplace. I think in 2016, it was at 33% of the population used emoji in the workplace, and now we're over 71%. Oh, wow. So it's not surprising that with the increased utilization of emoji in workplace communications, you're going to find more cases referencing emoji. Mm-hmm. So leading versus lagging indicators. There was an increased use during the pandemic. So as everyone went to work from home, they were looking to add a little emotion to their text. We had chat applications like Slack and Teams have an exponential increase in adoption. And that led to those applications and those channels have emoji in them as well. So that added to the increased use of emoji in the workplace and added some emotion to it. I think there's some positive to that. There needs to be some governance around it too and some training so people don't go wild. Slack, well, they have the entire set now, but initially Teams, when it came out, it only had a handful of emoji. And now they have the entire emoji set, which people celebrated, but I was like, for work, that gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah, and they're available on Outlook now too.
Oh yeah, and that Outlook, so that's where email and text become the biggest issue when you come emoji going cross-platform. Because if you're saying in Outlook, you're sending the Microsoft version, but then if someone's reading it in a Gmail, they're getting the Google version. Or if you're sending it on your iPhone, you might get the iOS version, but then someone gets the Microsoft version when they're receiving it. So that's where you start seeing some challenges. The good news about emoji use in Slack and Teams, the emoji that's being sent by the sender is the same emoji that's being received by the recipient.
I think we have another question from a viewer. I see my kids sending emoji and messages to other people in their gaming system. Gaming systems like PlayStation, etc., entered the eDiscovery picture yet?
I know they have. I can't speak to the degree, and I give actually some kudos to attorneys that have done proper custodial interviews that have found where that potentially relevant information resides on PlayStations or Xboxes or in Roblox conversations, because that's some fantastic due diligence. You don't see it very often, but I think it's a great place for someone to hide nefarious behavior and have some communications there. Because if it's not on your phone, if it's not on your computer, it's not on your iPad, it's not on a device that you're typically using, you may think you can get away with it.